Welcome back to another explainer. Okay, picture this. You're standing totally alone in a vast ancient grassland. There are no houses, no phones in your pocket to call for backup, and definitely no hospitals. It's just endless wilderness stretching out before you in literally every direction. In a world like that, every single sound you hear could mean danger, right? A rustle in the bushes might just be the wind blowing by, or, it might be a hungry predator tracking your every single move.
So that brings us to a huge question. Did ancient humans actually feel anxiety? We almost always treat it like this modern glitch, right? Like it's just a byproduct of our 24/7 emails, piling up bills, and that endless, exhausting scroll of social media. But the truth is, this goes back well over 100,000 years. To really understand our own minds today, we've got to travel back and look at where this feeling actually comes from. All right, let's dive into Section 1, Fear versus Anxiety, Understanding the Difference. Before we trace the evolutionary roots, we really need to cleanly separate anxiety from the emotion it almost always masks itself as. Okay, so look at it this way. Fear is your response to the tiger right in front of you. It's an immediate threat, something you can literally see and touch in the moment. Anxiety, on the other hand, is the scout. It's your brain running these incredibly complex simulations, constantly asking, wait, what if there's a tiger waiting by the river? One is an immediate danger, the other is a predicted danger.
And when your brain starts playing out that what-if scenario, your sympathetic nervous system totally fires up. Your heart starts hammering, your muscles physically tighten, you become intensely hyper-alert to your surroundings. Now, we tend to view these physical symptoms as a really frustrating nuisance today, but let's be clear, this isn't a glitch. It's a highly evolved biological preparation for survival.
And this deep biological programming didn't just appear overnight. It's been evolving for millions of years. It predates our ancient hunter-gatherer ancestors. It developed thousands and thousands of years before we even invented farming, and it was deeply ingrained in us long before the concrete of our modern cities was ever poured.
Moving right along to Section 2, the hunter-gatherer brain, survival in an uncertain world. Let's look at why this ancient wiring was absolutely, undeniably necessary for keeping our ancestors alive.
Try to imagine waking up every single day and facing a constant, relentless stream of high-stakes unknowns. Will I find food today? Is another tribe nearby? Is that rustling grass just the wind, or is it a predator? Will this tiny little scratch I just got get infected and become fatal? In an intensely unpredictable world like that, missing a subtle cue wasn't just an oops moment, it was literally fatal. Every single day was absolutely packed with uncertainty.
So, here's the cold, hard logic of evolution. Natural selection aggressively rewarded brains that anticipated danger. The super relaxed guy who just casually ignored the rustling bush? Yeah, he didn't live long enough to become our ancestor. The people who stayed highly alert and worried about what might happen, they were the ones who survived to pass on their genes. Anxiety wasn't a flaw for them. It was an absolutely vital tool.
Which brings us to Section 3, the evolutionary mismatch, ancient brains in a modern world. If anxiety is such a perfect survival tool, why does it feel like it's totally derailing us now? Well, ancient threats were mostly tangible, right? Predators, starvation, brutal weather, disease. And critically, once you escaped the tiger, the danger actually passed, and your nervous system could finally hit reset. But today? Today, we trigger that exact same massive survival alarm over an upcoming job interview, or an unread email, or, a cringeworthy conversation we had 5 years ago. We stress about bills and the online opinions of total strangers. Our brain uses the exact same ancient alarm bell because it simply doesn't distinguish between a physical threat and a social stressor.
Scientists refer to this whole thing as an evolutionary mismatch. To put it into perspective, according to estimates like Dunbar's number, our brains evolved to manage tight-knit social circles of maybe 50 to 150 people max. But today, we carry around a little glass rectangle in our pocket that forces us to interact with, compare ourselves to, and be judged by thousands, sometimes literally millions of strangers all over the globe.
Honestly, the best way to think about it is this. We are basically running software designed for the Stone Age on a 21st century computer. The anxiety system itself is actually functioning perfectly. It's doing exactly what it was programmed to do. The problem is, we're taking a tool built for 10-minute physical survival and using it to agonize over abstract stuff that might happen years in the future. Okay, final section, Part 4, your ancient survival tool, echoes of the past. So how should we actually interpret these feelings right now, today, based on all this evolutionary evidence?
Well, first, we have to realize that ancient tribes survived because they had a really rich diversity of traits. It's like a giant puzzle. The fearless risk-takers were super crucial. They pushed boundaries and explored new territories to find resources. But the naturally cautious people, they were just as essential. They were the ones preventing the group from making dangerous mistakes or casually walking straight off a cliff. Too much fear meant starvation, but too little meant certain death. A healthy, delicate balance of these traits across the whole community is what actually ensured the survival of the human race.
So look, the next time your palms get totally sweaty, your chest tightens up, and that sudden inner voice tells you to be hypervigilant, I want you to reframe it. You aren't malfunctioning. Those deeply uncomfortable feelings are actually the echoes of countless generations of survivors. Your brain is doing exactly what it was meticulously designed to do, to protect you.
Our world has completely, radically transformed, but we are still carrying the Stone Age with us every single day. Anxiety isn't proof that you're broken or that there's something wrong with you. It's actually proof of how fiercely your ancestors fought to be here. It is quite literally the reason we exist today. So the next time your heart races over a totally modern problem, I want you to ask yourself, is this a real, immediate threat right in front of me, or is it just an ancient echo trying its very best to keep me safe?